What's up guys? Today I bring you a head-to-head comparison between two portable home cinema projectors. We have the Nebula Capsule 3 versus the XGIMI MoGo 2 Pro. Now let's start off with the design. Both are portable and compact in size, jam-packed with some pretty decent specs and features, including official Android TV with impressive autofocus and image correction, super brightness, awesome internal speakers, and lots more. Design-wise, they both feel premium, both compact in size. Nebula is 17 centimeters high versus 16.1 centimeters, and the Nebula weighs 900 grams versus 1.1 kgs. Now let's compare the ports on the back. Both have HDMI in ports, so you can hook up your favorite game console or TV box. Both have audio jack, so you can connect your headphones or a speaker system. Both have Type-C ports for power, but the XGIMI has an additional USB-A port for your multimedia playback. And I can confirm both support USB-C hubs to connect your USB drives, etc. Now let's quickly check out what you get inside the box. So they both come with user manuals, power supplies, and they are both USB Type-C. You get a 45-watt charger with Nebula, and XGIMI comes with a 65-watt fast charger. And they both come with a Bluetooth voice remote control, so built-in microphones and Google Assistant button on the remote, and they are both powered by two AAA batteries. Now let's talk about price. One of them is priced $899 and the other one is $529. The Transformers version is a special limited version of the Nebula Capsule 3, which is already out of stock, but it is exactly the same as the standard version when it comes to specs and performance. So the standard version of the Nebula Capsule 3 comes without the Transformers branding and is available to buy for a slightly cheaper price of $799, and they have a £100 off discount offer, bringing the price further down to $699. XGIMI's MoGo 2 Pro is also on offer with an early bird price of $484. So realistically, after all discounts, this is what the current prices are right now, but for a limited time only. Now let's compare these specs and features. So both are DLP projectors. Nebula is a laser projector and XGIMI is an LED projector. What's the difference? Well, laser projectors include a laser light that passes through a physical color wheel to provide a high image brightness. LED projectors use separate lights instead of color filters, and in effect, laser projectors are often brighter than LED, but LED projectors can produce better color accuracy, and LED technology costs a lot less. Now both projectors are powered by an ARM Cortex A55 quad-core processor, but with different clock speeds. The Nebula runs at 1.5 GHz max, and the XGIMI runs at a slightly higher 1.9 GHz max. Both feature integrated graphics. Nebula has the Mali G52 and the XGIMI has the Mali G31. Both have 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of internal storage. Lamp life for both is around 25,000 hours, and to give you some context, if you use either projector for 5 hours every single day, then 25,000 hours will last you over 10 years. Now let's talk about brightness. Nebula has 300 ANSI lumens versus XGIMI's 400 ISO lumens. What's the difference between ANSI and ISO? Well, a conversion is 1 ANSI lumen is equivalent to 0.8 ISO lumens. So if we convert XGIMI's 400 ISO lumens to ANSI lumens to see how they compare, then XGIMI's 400 ISO lumens would convert to 500 ANSI lumens. So effectively, brightness is 300 ANSI lumens versus 500 ANSI lumens. Both projectors support native resolution of 1080p and can decode 4K. So that means if you connect a 4K device like a PS5, it will take that large projection resolution and scale it down to 1080p, effectively making it look better than 1080p. Both also support HDR and HDR10. XGIMI benefits from 90% DCI P3 color gamut and D65 color temperature, so as explained earlier, LED projectors usually produce a slightly better color accuracy. And if we talk about 3D content, Nebula does not support native 3D videos or movies, but to my pleasant surprise, XGIMI actually lets you play back your 3D movie and video collection directly from the USB port, and you can watch using regular passive 3D glasses like the ones you get in the cinema. Furthermore, both are running official Android TV version 11 with Google Widevine Level 1 certification in both, and both come with the added benefit of Google Voice Assistant and built-in Chromecast. Both projectors feature impressive autofocus and keystone correction and auto screen alignment. So no matter where you place your projector in your room, it will autocorrect the image for you and also give you the chance to manually adjust things if you need to. XGIMI has an additional feature called uninterrupted autofocus and keystone. So that means you could be watching your favorite show or movie, you can move the projector to another room or another angle and it will not interrupt your program with those black and white QR codes. Instead, it will continue playing your program while it adjusts the screen. This is definitely a next-gen feature for projectors, and I love how XGIMI has implemented this. Furthermore, maximum optimal projection size, which is the maximum size a projector can project without any loss of detail. So the Nebula Capsule 3 will give you up to 120 inches at 1080p, and the XGIMI can go up to 200 inches at 1080p. Talk about the battery life. Nebula has a generous 14,500 mAh battery which is built in, and it will give you up to 2.5 hours of battery life, and it supports up to 45 watts of fast charging. Now the XGIMI, however, does not have a built-in battery. Instead, it comes with a 65 watt power supply, but you can also power this off a power bank if you want complete portable use. But it would have been really nice if the XGIMI had an internal battery. Now moving on to the sounds. Portable projectors are not meant to have great sounding speakers. Well, these two next-gen portable projectors changes everything. The internal speakers in these projectors are shockingly good. You don't expect the sound to be so loud and powerful from such a small device. So Nebula features a single 8-watt speaker but supports Dolby Digital Plus. Sound quality is impressive, and here is a quick taste. XGIMI took it a bit further. It has 2x 8-watt speakers and also supports Dolby Digital Plus, and even has a transparent window on the back showing you your bass diaphragm. So amazing sound from both. I've not felt the need to connect an external speaker system. The internal speakers on both were sufficient sound volume to fill up my bedroom or even living room. But if I'm comparing, XGIMI wins in the sound department with a louder and more powerful sound. Okay, so now let's quickly compare the fan noises, starting off with the Nebula Capsule 3. So standing right next to it, you can see it produces a fan noise of around 39 decibels. And if we move back about 1 meter, the fan noise drops down to around 35 decibels. Now in comparison, the XGIMI's fan noise when standing right next to the projector is around 35 decibels. And if we step 1 meter back, the fan noise drops to only 33 decibels. So now it's time to play some games. So I'm going to hook up my PlayStation 5 to both projectors to give you a side-by-side. But first, I want to mention the resolutions. So PS5 video output settings on the Nebula projector is showing 4K with HDR10 supported. Now in comparison, on the XGIMI's projector, PS5 video output settings shows 4K does not support HDR. So if you want HDR, you have to drop the resolution down to 1080p native. Now quick reminder, both projectors are 1080p native and simply decode the 4K, so it's not real 4K anyway, but just wanted to show you the differences when connecting a PS5. Now let's check out some gameplay. So first game we're playing is Astro's Playroom for PS5. Both projectors set to 4K. XGIMI does not support HDR at 4K resolution, but Nebula does support 4K HDR. For this type of animated cartoony game, I think XGIMI looks slightly better with its color accuracy. But when playing a game like GTA 5, the differences become more apparent. The Nebula Capsule 3 actually looks slightly better thanks to the HDR support. You can see the HDR really brings out that color and gives a slightly better contrast as well. Yeah, GTA looks much better on the Nebula with the 4K HDR support. Now the next example also shows the same result. We're playing God of War on the PS5, and this game actually does support 4K HDR10, and you can see the Nebula Capsule 3 is doing a much better job with the colors, the contrast, the vibrancy. The game looks really nice on the Nebula Capsule 3. However, in the next example, the total opposite happens. As you can see, UFC 4 with the added HDR makes the game and skin tones look a bit unnatural with the Nebula Capsule 3, whereas the XGIMI MoGo 2 Pro does a much better job with the skin tones and the natural colors. So for a game like UFC 4, I'm actually preferring the XGIMI MoGo 2 Pro.
Just like that, the fight is over. Just an absolutely gorgeous shot to spell the end for his opponent. Crowd is absolutely loving it. He gets the near perfect land. I'm not even sure his opponent saw it coming, but just the way he drew it up here.
Now for the next example, I switched the resolution on the XGIMI MoGo 2 Pro to 1080p with HDR10 on, and as you guys can see, things are looking slightly better on the XGIMI, but overall I must admit the Nebula Capsule 3 playing PS5 games looks much better. Now input lag or latency is very important when playing games on projectors. The XGIMI will give you a response time of just under 50 milliseconds, whereas the Nebula Capsule 3 offers a much better 23 milliseconds. So overall, gaming experience, input lag and graphics look much better on the Nebula Capsule 3. Now for the casual gamer, you can still pick up the XGIMI and enjoy your games, and you're not going to notice any lag or issues. But for the real competitive gaming master who plays online shooters, having a better response time could be the difference between winning and losing. There you have it guys, that was my comparison between two impressive portable projectors, and I wanted to show you exactly how they perform side by side. I played a whole bunch of videos and games to show you how they both fare. You already know the main strengths and weaknesses of both projectors, but let me summarize it for you. Nebula supports 4K HDR10 decoding, whereas XGIMI does support 4K decoding but without HDR support. For HDR, XGIMI needs to output at 1080p. Nebula has a built-in 14,500 mAh battery and XGIMI has no battery. Both offer equally good brightness. Both feature official certified Android TV version 11. Both feature superb autofocus and image correction, but XGIMI also features uninterrupted autofocus and Keystone. Nebula offers up to 120-inch optimal projection size, and XGIMI up to 200 inches. Both support power banks, and both feature low fan noises under 39 decibels, but XGIMI's fan noise is very silent at under 35 decibels. Furthermore, the Nebula offers a better input lag of 23 milliseconds when gaming versus 50 milliseconds in the XGIMI. The Nebula has no 3D support, whereas XGIMI does. Nebula only has a single 8-watt speaker, whereas XGIMI has dual 8-watt speakers. Nebula has no USB 8 port, but the XGIMI does. Also, Nebula has no eye protection, but XGIMI does. You've seen the results. Now let me know in the comments which one you feel is better and why. I hope you found the video useful. Like, sub and follow to support the channel. Big thanks to everyone who has already. Thank you so much for watching. And in case you're wondering what happened to my voice, well, at the moment I am working in anti-social hours, so I'm keeping my voice low to not disturb others. Hopefully you guys can still understand what's going on. Thanks a lot guys. Peace.